So our topic for today is the rollout of Office 365, or Office in the cloud, as we say. And so there's a number of features coming with this service. This is part of our existing license with Microsoft. So we're able to expand the products and services that we get from them for about the same money that we've been paying for our campus license agreement. But the primary features and functionalities of Office in the cloud, as we say, is the big one that lots of folks want is the OneDrive, the secure file storage that's accessible from wherever you have a network connection. I think people will really use document sharing and lightweight Office applications very, very heavily. I know this is, Daniel, for your folks, this may be a big boost for some of the students that you serve. And we should probably talk separately about how we can do that. We'll be able to provide collaboration sites for folks. We've already got a couple of pilot collaboration sites set up for facilities and one for ETS, and I think we're doing one for human resources. As we roll out the rest of the features of Office in the cloud, it will give everybody access to full versions of the Office suite, and we'll talk about how you can use those licenses. In phase 2 of this project, we'll fully integrate all of this with our existing email and calendar system, and that'll be pretty cool. And I think one of the things that people will also really enjoy is the support for mobile devices. So your ability from your smartphone or from a tablet to be able to access files, even edit them, but certainly be able to read them from mobile devices is pretty nice in this product offering. So with that, I'd like to share some specific details about each one of these, and then I can do a demo for you all and show you some of the features and how to do file sharing and things of that sort. So the OneDrive, which is one of the main features that lots of folks ask us about, this is secure online file storage. It's private to you. So every user gets 1 terabyte of storage, and Microsoft has been talking about making that an unlimited amount of storage in the future, although they've been backtracking from that a little bit, but they'll need to do that to keep up with their competition at Google. Again, this is available from anywhere you have an internet connection. So if you're in your office or in your home or in your classroom or laboratory, or you're on vacation or wherever, somebody's Thanksgiving dinner across the state, wherever you need to get to your files, wherever you have an internet connection, you can get to those. They are secure. There are no restrictions on the file types that you can put in OneDrive, so you can put everything from Word documents to PDFs to videos to databases. Whatever it is you want to put there is perfectly fine. And as it integrates with some of the Office functionality, one of the things you'll find in OneDrive is there's no save button, because as you're editing a document in that environment, it automatically saves for you. You can save it as a different file, but you don't, every time you make a change, it automatically saves to that cloud-based file to keep you from losing any work. So OneDrive is a very important feature that a lot of folks have used or are using. A lot of folks have been using for years all kinds of workaround solutions like consumer Google Docs or Dropbox or Box or lots of other things. Some of those are all very good services, but they're not always as secure as you might like them to be, or they cost money. And so this is a solution that everyone in the district can use and is covered under our enterprise-wide license agreement, so there's no additional cost. And by the way, I am running this PowerPoint off of the file that I stored on OneDrive, so it's coming directly out of the Microsoft Cloud this morning. Document sharing, one of the things that I know drives me crazy is I'm often co-editing documents with other people, maybe a committee of people, a team of people, a department of people, whatever the case may be. And right now, one of the only ways that we have to do that is we turn on track changes which drives me crazy. And then we email those documents back and forth to each other, and we make changes, and it's not always clear who made what change and how do you track all of that. So file sharing in Office 365 allows you to, as the owner of the document can say, I would like to share this with these other people. They can be people inside the Foothill-De Anza domain. They can be people outside of the domain. There are no restrictions on who you can share with. You can share in a couple of different ways. You can share as a read-only document. So you can say, I want people to have access to this document, but I don't want them to be able to change it. And so you can set it as read-only, or you can set it as read-write. So you can say, I want them to not only be able to see it, but I want them to be able to make changes to it. And then Office 365 does a very nice job of keeping track of who made what change at what point in time. So if for some reason you say, yeah, we're not going to go with that change, or I like the previous version better, you can revert to the previous version very simply and easily. Again, you can share it internally and externally. And one of the things that we'll be bringing out at a future point is automatic sync with your desktop documents. We're not rolling that out at this time for two reasons. One is Microsoft does not offer at this point in time, they've said they're going to do it, but they haven't brought it out yet. They are not providing automatic sync for the Mac platform. So that's a big problem for us. So because we have so many Mac users in our environment. The other thing is the automatic sync for the Windows side works, but not very well. It's a very consumer-oriented synchronization product. It doesn't really recognize synchronization in an enterprise environment like we have at our colleges or at central services. And so we've been providing feedback to Microsoft along with hundreds of other colleges and universities to say, look, this really needs to work this way. And we can't go around to every single machine to touch it to make it work because you haven't designed your product successfully enough for enterprise delivery. So that'll be coming soon. We're not exactly sure when. We're tracking the Microsoft roadmap to see when they'll release that so we can do some testing. But that'll be coming in the near future. So it'll be easy to keep your documents in sync across numerous devices. So if you have a desktop at work and a laptop and a desktop at home and a tablet and so on and so forth, if you've connected all of those devices through your account, it'll keep those files in sync for you very nicely. It does work if you're using the consumer version of Office 365. On the enterprise version, it's still a little kludgy. Lightweight apps. So part of what's included in Office 365 are lightweight versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And as I mentioned, I'm running this presentation right now off of the lightweight version of PowerPoint through Office 365. There are some other applications in Office 365. One called Sway. Don't know a whole lot about it. It's an interesting kind of mashup product that allows you to do some journaling and include slideshows and video and things of that sort. So we'll have to learn more about that, and if for those people who want to use it, help them figure out what things that might be useful for. It also gives us access to download those files to use with the full version of Microsoft Office Pro on a desktop, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Again, these lightweight versions can be used from any place you have an internet connection. You don't have to have Office installed on your local machine, so if you're using a machine somewhere else, at a friend's house, at a family member's house, at a hotel, any number of places, convention center, you don't have to have anything installed locally to be able to use those lightweight versions. I think what you'll find in these versions is that the vast majority of functionality that people use on a daily basis is included there. So What I've heard from a lot of folks is once they start using the online versions of these applications, they often don't switch back because they don't need to. It's just more convenient to edit your documents online using that online version. And of course, the saving and synchronization features work pretty well. Again, you can, if you want to download a document from Office, from the OneDrive, and edit it on the full version, the Pro version on your desktop, and then sync it back up with your file share later, that works too. You have when you open an Office document, and I can demonstrate this in a few minutes, it'll give you the option to open it in Word online or open it in Word on your desktop. And so you can take either one of those choices if you're working from a machine that has the Office suite installed locally. But I think most people will find that these lightweight versions are really pretty adequate. Collaboration sites, this is a screenshot of what a collaboration site might look like. So this is something that departments can use, or programs, or probably even courses, or any number of organizations of people that want to have a common document library, so they keep all their documents that they share on a regular basis together. You can include other things in a collaboration site like a calendar or announcements or all kinds of other things that would be appropriate to a departmental team or a project team working together. We've done a very elaborate collaboration site for our facilities department as our bond program begins to wind down. They're beginning to collect all the documentation from the many construction and remodeling projects that we've done over the last many years and put that all together in one place so that they have access to it all. And then, of course, anybody in the future, after some of us retire, will have access to all those documents as well. So we can set those up for you. It's pretty easy to use. It's pretty easy to modify, and we can help a department, a project team, whomever, set these up. They have their own file storage limitations. It's pretty significant, so I don't think you'll ever run out of file space. But that file space is unique to the collaboration site. It doesn't count against anybody's individual storage limit. Full versions of Office, one of the things when we finish the rollout of this, one of the things that this will do is a couple of very important things. One is it will give every user up to 5 licenses for the full version of Office. So if you have it on your computer in your office, whether that's a desktop or a laptop, but you also want to have the full version of Office at home because you're working at home or wherever else you might be, you'll be able to install Office in up to 5 places. So that's really a very generous licensing arrangement. It could be on college-owned devices. It could be on personally owned devices. There are no restrictions on that. One of the other nice features is that this version of Office keeps the Office applications up to date. So we won't ever again be in that situation where somebody's got Office 2007, somebody's got 2010, somebody's got 2013, and the functions aren't always compatible with each other. This system will keep everybody, as we migrate folks onto this license, will keep everybody on the most current version of Office. So that will save us a lot of work in ETS, but also make sure that there's a level of compatibility amongst users throughout our colleges and central services, that we don't run into those frustrating things where somebody's got a new version, they create some really whiz-bang document and somebody else can't read it. So there's some very nice components of that. Again, we're probably going to roll this part of it out along with the desktop synchronization, because that's really what makes it work exceptionally well. So we're still working on that implementation plan. Mobile device support. This is one of the things that I think a lot of folks will be interested in. There's very good mobile device support for all of the predominant mobile platforms. So the Apple operating system, the Android operating system, Windows Phone 8.1 and beyond. Any of the manufacturers of tablets you can use Microsoft Office 365 with. You can download individual versions of Word for tablets or Excel for tablets or PowerPoint for tablets at no cost at all. And I've done that with a number of my devices. It works exceptionally well. So I can be somewhere, access my files, open them in Word, edit them in Word, update them to my OneDrive, and know that I haven't lost any of that data no matter where I am. It's great for taking notes. It's great for doing all kinds of stuff. The other thing that's really cool is if you lose your mobile device and you say, oh my Lord, I've lost it. I don't know where it's, I might find it, but I don't know. But there's a whole bunch of files on there that I'm really worried about. We can use functions of Office 365 to wipe out those files remotely. That would not affect any of the files that you've got stored in the cloud. It would just knock out those files that may be resident on your mobile device. If you get it back for some reason, you can always resync those files and bring them right back to your mobile device. If for some reason you don't get the mobile device back, you'll know that any sensitive information that you may have had about grades or anything that you just really don't want floating around out there, you can wipe that out remotely through this system. So there's some very nice mobile device management features in Office 365. Email and calendar integration. We're going to do this in a two-step process. So phase one of this, we'll integrate this with our current email and calendar system that's hosted on premise. Actually, it's right over. It's on a server in building L7, right around the corner. That system is working for the most part pretty well. We hear very few complaints from people about it. So we're going to let that, we're going to continue to run that on premise. We will at some point migrate that to the Microsoft Cloud, probably at the point where we would have to make a decision about replacing that hardware that it runs on. We've still got, we've had that hardware in place for better part of 4 years. It's probably still got at least 2 or 3 more years of good life in it, maybe even a little longer. So at the point at which we would have to replace that hardware, I think we'll choose to migrate it because it won't cost us anything to migrate it to the cloud, and it'll save us a whole lot of money that we wouldn't have to spend on hardware locally. The nice thing that I think people will enjoy about the cloud version of Microsoft Outlook for the web is that it's the exact same interface as what people are used to right now. So if you're using Outlook Web Access, it is virtually identical, but it has some new features that Office Outlook for the web doesn't currently have. It'll have improved email filtering, improved virus control, and other kinds of malware containment, and some of the features that people have to go to the Outlook client for, they'll be able to get through the web application. So for example, I pull my hair out in trying to share email folders with my assistant. And the only way I can do that is to use the Outlook client application. Well, the Outlook client for the Mac is horrible. It really doesn't work worth a darn. And it's not much better on the Windows platform. I mean, Microsoft, I think, is really putting their investment in the web-based applications. So all of the features and functionality that people want from the Outlook client that's only available there will come into the Outlook Web Access application and be available through a browser. So that when we migrate from in phase 2 of this for email and calendar, you'll see really no difference in the interface. Plus, you'll get a whole slew of more advanced features that I think people will appreciate. So that's what's happening on email and calendar. So the timeline for this, we have been working on this for a couple of months. As I mentioned, we did a big pilot over the summer with facilities, and really, because they had a robust application that was really going to test all of the features of this. We have another pilot underway right now with a group of super users. So lots of folks volunteered and said, we're ready to go, we'll kick the tires, we'll provide you with feedback, we'll help you understand what people need to do to make this very successful. We will roll this out to all users in about 30 days. On December 14th, it will appear in everybody's My Portal login, and I'll show you how that looks in a minute. And then, as I mentioned, we will plan for the email and calendar migration at a future point when we have a better idea of when that hardware needs to be refreshed. We want to make sure we get the maximum bang for our buck on the current hardware, but we don't want to spend any unnecessary dollars on hardware if we can migrate. So we'll keep people posted on that. But I don't think that will be a huge disruption because it's essentially the same interface. So what is the general impact on users? It should be pretty straightforward. This will be predominantly integrated with My Portal, so you'll use your CW ID and password to log into it, just as you would so many other applications we use here at the district. We have a district-wide subscription for lynda.com, so if you aren't using that and want to, we have a subscription that covers all employees, so all faculty, full-time and part-time, all staff, all administrators. Anybody can use it. You can go online, sign up for an account, and it takes about 30 seconds to validate through your email. You can use all of the content in lynda.com, no restrictions, but there's some very, very good material specific to Office 365 in lynda.com, and we've created a playlist for that. So you can go and see the top 3 or 4 training modules from Lynda on Office 365, and so that's available right now. We're also developing some Foothill-De Anza specific training materials. So we have a new training specialist in the Media and Learning Center. She's created some really wonderful materials, and the folks at our call center at ETS have also done that. So there should be plenty of material for everybody to figure out from the general to the specific how to do things with Office 365. One of the things that once we get this broadly rolled out to folks, we'll probably come back to people who are using those ad hoc solutions for file sharing and really ask them to migrate into the Office domain, because I think we'll have a higher level of security and we'll be able to protect the confidentiality and privacy of those files a little better than using particularly consumer-based file sharing like Google Docs. I'm sure one of the things that we'll continue to do as we roll this out is do some additional workshops on new ways that people can collaborate amongst department colleagues or a team, project team, or even a class, and that'll be coming. And then again, remember that no visible changes to email or calendar. It will really continue to work the same way that everyone is accustomed to. So that's the impact. So I think now we'll take a moment and I'll demonstrate a couple of the very cool features that I think a lot of folks will use. So if you log into My Portal on December 14th, if you're not part of the super user group, if you go to the Employee tab and you scroll down underneath the Exchange channel, you'll see the Office 365 channel. So it'll look just like this. It'll be the same for everybody. If you click on Learn More, it'll open up some of the additional documentation. So you can click on that and see all kinds of help files. And then again, this is Foothill-De Anza specific help content. And then you'll also be able to access some of the lynda.com stuff. So there's lots of documentation. It's very easy to read, lots of screenshots and things of that sort, so you can see exactly what you need to do to use Office 365. Going back to My Portal, if you want to start using it, you click Launch, and it will open up this screen. And once you've once you've opened up this screen, you don't have to keep My Portal open. So if for some reason you want to just close out of My Portal, you'll continue to remain authenticated within the Office 365 environment. So you'll see a number of things in here. News feeds, people can set up a news feed. So if you've got news coming out of your department or your program or any number of things, you can make that available there. People can subscribe to that. It's a very straightforward interface. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it really is a discussion board that people can use for any number of things. So that's there. To go back to the main menu, just click those little squares and you can say, well, let's look at OneDrive. So this is my actual OneDrive. So you can add files to your OneDrive in a couple of different ways. You can create folders in OneDrive. So if you want to add a new folder, just click the New button and it'll ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to create a new Word document, an Excel document, a PowerPoint, OneNote, whatever, or a new folder? And so we could just pick a new folder and call it Test Folder. And there it is, test folder's ready to go. If you want to upload files specifically into that folder, just click that folder and it'll open that folder up, and then you can click upload, and it's a very common interface. So you just simply look for the file that you want. Let's say it was this JPEG file of the logo, and we just click open and it uploads, and there you go. And that's now in your cloud file storage, available to you wherever you want to access it. We can go back. We can go back to my general document list. You can drag and drop files into this. So if you open up a folder and you have some folders on your desktop, or if you have some folders in another directory, you could just select those and drag them over and they'll automatically upload. There are a couple of minor restrictions on that. You cannot drag and drop more than 100 files at a time. So if you're looking to move a whole directory over, 100 files is the current limit, and you can't drag folders over. That's one of the things that will be resolved in the desktop synchronization. You have to create a folder and drag files from a folder to a folder. So you can't drag folders, and you can only drag 100 documents at a time. But for most folks, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. Now, if you want to share a document, you can open that document and you can click on the share button, and you can type in the name of anybody in our domain. So if I was going to share this, say, with one of my staff, Sharon Luchu, I could just begin typing her name, and I can scroll down and find her. And I can add any number of people from our domain. I can add people who are not in our domain just by typing in their email address. I can send them a personal message that says, I'm sharing this with you as a test. I can decide whether I want them to edit or just view. This is an important feature right here. Do I require sign-in or not? If you're sharing this with people outside of Foothill-De Anza, my recommendation is that you check that off. And the reason for that is if you require the sign-in, that means that whoever you're sending this to has to have access to Office 365. So if it's just people within De Anza College or Foothill College or the district, that's not a problem. Everybody has it or will have it on December 14th. And when they click on that link, when they get an email that says Joe has shared something with you, it'll prompt them to sign in. If they're not already signed in, it'll just open right up. If you're sharing this with people outside of our domain, and you don't know whether they have an Office 365 account or not, you may want to not require sign-in so that they can get to it easily without having to create an account with Microsoft. However, if you're sharing sensitive information, you know, you might want to require sign-in regardless of whether it's an internal or external share. You can get a link to this document so that you can embed that link in some other kind of document, an email or a web page or things of that sort. You can see who you've shared it with. Let me share this with Sharon, and then we can see, yes, thank you. So we can see who we've shared it with. So if you ever need to remember who you actually sent that to, you can use that. You can stop sharing it. So you can say, oh, she's done editing that. I'm going to stop sharing it with her now. So you can take that sharing back if you want, or you can change it from edit to view. All kinds of things that you can do with sharing. Again, a lot of the sharing options are pretty straightforward. I think most folks could figure it out just by clicking around, but you can also look at the lynda.com material to see exactly what the ins and outs of sharing are. Let's see, what else have we got? So you've got, sites. This is something that we've created for facilities and for ETS, so I can show you the facilities team site real quick. This one is pretty robust, and it's got a fair amount of content in it. So we'll give it a second to come up. Come on. Try it again. There it goes. Oh, I don't have access to this page. So you can see that you can control who has access to your site, and they didn't give it to me. So we'll go back. And so let's open up the, let's go home to sites, and we'll open up the ETS site, because I do have access to that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so here's the ETS team site. So as you can see, we've got a news feed going on, and right now we're planning a Thanksgiving holiday luncheon for our staff this week. And so Kelly, who's our call center manager, has posted this thread asking people to say, what are you going to bring? You could use it for stuff like that or serious stuff too. There's a file library. We've got file libraries broken out by the overall department, the management team, various other components of each one of the departments within the division has their own file library that they can share files just with those folks. Lots of options in the sites. You can also include announcements and include screenshots, all kinds of stuff. So we're using this to kind of keep track of what we're learning about sites so that we can share that with folks. So lots of opportunities in sites. And again, you can include people from within our domain as well as people externally. And then, of course, you have the other applications available, the lightweight applications of Word, Excel, PowerPoint. OneNote, folks, a lot of faculty and students may be using OneNote for keeping their notes online. And again, Sway, and we'll open that up real quick. I don't know a whole lot about Sway. I played with it a little bit. It's a very interesting application. We'll look at this one sample. But you could use it for a whole lot of things, creating a portfolio or any number of things. So this is what it kind of looks like, and you can use the arrow keys to move to the next. And so as you can see, it's got all different kinds of content in it. And you can include maps and graphics and PowerPoint and videos and all kinds of things. So it's a very robust kind of visual presenter application. If you're interested in using it, I would refer you to lynda.com to get some more orientation about exactly how to use it and what you might do with it. So it's a pretty interesting application, and it comes free with the other apps. But if you just want to do something as basic as opening a Word document, again, it looks very, very similar to the desktop version of Word. You just pick a template and start with that, and you'll see that it has a lot of the same navigation along the top in terms of formatting and layout and all those kinds of things. Again, it's not the same as the desktop version, but for most people, it probably has about 95% of the functionality that most of us use on a daily basis. If you're doing something really sophisticated like headers and footers and indexes and tables of contents and other kinds of things, it's probably not going to do it for you, but most of us don't do that. Most of us are using it for reports or papers or memos or any number of things. It probably would cover most of those bases. So that is, in a nutshell, Microsoft Office 365. Again, it will be in everybody's portal starting December 14th. You can have access to the training materials on the ETS website. Those are available to everyone right now. Lynda.com is available to everyone right now. And there's so much more in lynda.com that beyond Office 365 that you may want to check out. Again, that's available to all employees regardless of status. And those are, you can sign up for that account free and use it however you like.